Prisons are their business, not our business. So it's not wrong that Bukele's become popular in El Salvador and he's locked up a whole bunch of people and had human rights abuses, etc. That's for the good people.
El Salvador's prisons are their business, not our business. I beg to differ, Cenk. I think when the United States president is sending people from America, people with legal status here, to El Salvador, and he is talking about sending homegrown Americans to El Salvador, he's paying them millions of dollars to hold on to people, including an innocent man. It is our fucking business.
Yeah, so what's up, y'all? This is true. You know, there's a lot going on with these deportations and everything, but Cenk Uygur, just listening to that statement he just made, I'm not shocked, but it just fully solidifies that Cenk Uygur is fully part of the establishment. Nayib Bukele is, you know, I mean, look, listen, man, like, he's running a country. For me to say he's not to be trusted, I mean, that should be a given. This should not be a position that's, you know, pushed against. But apparently there was a crash out or something with Brian Tyler Cohen exposing Cenk Uygur. So I am using the political punk for this because I kind of want to see how he puts that together. So, you know, we'll do this together. I just want to get to it because I know what these people, they wait to the last minute. Okay, so this was, I see what he did. We'll cover this subject matter. All right, let's go. But guys, thank you. I see people are starting to, you know, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it, guys. Everybody keep hitting the subscribe button, hit the like button, and you know, let's get a different view of well, I mean, I know there's many great creators, but you know, another voice going against the establishment because a lot of people, they're just trying to fill up their pockets, guys. But thank you so much for watching.
Cenk Uygur, like, what the bro? A guy who had legal status from Maryland is currently serving a life sentence there. And nobody's even fucking discussing this shit. That fucking prison is absolutely our business. Like, what is he talking about? This is really important. I mean, without a doubt, we are actually deep in the thick of a constitutional crisis already. I mean, we are. We already have court reports that are being ignored. Even the shit with Pam Bondi saying they're giving people who vandalized some Teslas 40 years in prison for vandalizing a car dealership. That's not normal. That is like...
It isn't normal. I noticed that too. Like, yeah, like, you know, so what I need you to understand is, now, whether they do it or not, you know, somebody else can argue that, like, oh, they're just saying things. They wouldn't say it if they didn't know they could do it. This is what I mean. You have to understand, like, they have all the doctrine in place with that Patriot Act too to label you a domestic terrorist. I do not believe that people should be keying cars and messing somebody else's property. That's crazy. That is not protest. Get off my stuff. But I also don't think that we should just say domestic terrorist, this is a federal felony. Like, the reason why, again, is because how long until, you know, it happens to regular people talking? Huh.
Sending a fascism message, sending any civil disobedience from you, and we're going to put the rest of your natural born life. I mean, bro, that's fucked up. All right, let's dig into some of this.
Yes. I mean, the homegrowns, the ones that grew up and something went wrong and they hit people over the head with a baseball bat. We have, and push people into subways just before the train gets there, like you see happening sometimes. We are looking into it and we want to do it. I would love to do that.
How many times has he seen somebody get pushed into a subway?
Yeah, I know. His examples are like, dude, what are his examples? How does a reporter sit across from this guy giving such ridiculous fucking examples and not call him out on that?
Right, and so, you know, it's like, well, again, that is a violent offense, but the thing is, again, they can label you a violent something because of your thoughts. This is not for us to scare people. I just see where this is going. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, when I started paying attention to a lot of this stuff, this is when I was in MAGA. And I just never thought it would come from MAGA. I was like, oh, the Democrats are gonna do this, you know what I mean? Because I was fully, you know, like indoctrinated in this left-right type of atmosphere, this type of narrative. But then I had to remember, it's government, period. So I don't know. MAGA thinks it's based, but to me, it's not based. First of all, what is that word anymore?
Hear him out.
Yeah. And so this is super dangerous. Now they're coming for U.S. citizens. And I'm intensely curious about how right-wingers are going to react to this. Those are legitimate debates you have inside the country, right? What is not legitimate is, oh, that was a bad crime, so let's just trash our Constitution and our laws, not do due process, pick up that person, send him to El Salvador. And by the way, now Trump says we can't ever get him back. Even if it's the wrong guy, we can't get him back. Okay, and so, oh, wait, you didn't do due process. Oh, turns out you picked up the wrong guy at the subway. The bad guy's actually out in the loose, and the good guy's in El Salvador dungeon, and you can't get him back. Well, it doesn't matter because we're getting the bad guys. No, that's against our Constitution, against our laws for very good reason. Due process is one of the pillars of Western civilization.
Yeah, see, what's interesting about it is obviously Cenk is being like sane for the moment, talking about due process. But one thing I would like to note, people's due process being taken away and them being sent for life imprisonment at, terrorism center in El Salvador. If there's ever a reason for your blood to be boiled, for you to be livid at like, holy constitutional crisis, our fucking human rights are under assault. What is Trump doing? This is full-blown fascism. This is the moment for him to be activated and angry. There is no outrage. Remember how much outrage he had the other night when like Obama didn't like Kamala Harris, or Kamala Harris was like a bad presidential candidate?
So yeah, there's no outrage. It's like, oh my God, we forgot to do the due process part, like whoopsie daisies, due process, and like that's how it feels like Cenk is talking about this. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, due process, whoopsies, and all right, I'm not homie right here, but at the same time, again, it's like you have to be ready to understand that like this is a precedent being set. Now, they do, why don't we go ahead and get into this little bit of a debate that Brian Tyler Cohen had. I want to be clear, though. I'll keep it real. I hate that word trust. I don't trust everybody. But, when the talking points are good, they're good and we'll use them,
That's where the point of contention is because you saying this stuff is you operating in good faith. These people don't care. Like, there are no long-standing principles that they abide by. This is the purported party of family values, the purported party of the Constitution, of law and order, of states' rights, of fiscal responsibility. They will throw that shit out the window the moment, the millisecond it becomes inconvenient for them, and that's what they did. But you're saying these things to people as if they're operating under some principle that they should be against the establishment, that they should be against these donors, when they're not. The only longstanding principle is their allegiance to Trump. And so my worry is that like you trying to get through to them on these issues of principle is falling flat because it's not principle that got them there in the first place. There is no longstanding principle when you are a Trump supporter.
There we go. I mean, have you heard anyone say it better? BTC. Boom for the win.
All right, I'm not doing music. So listen, when I first heard, because I saw this debate, and you know what, we probably should cover this debate. But when I first heard Brian Tyler Cohen say this to Cenk, I had already made my decision. Well, I'm trying to think. I think this particular, this was after the elections. It definitely was. I had already not voted. Right? Because I was like, I'm not voting for Trump. I wasn't voting for Kamala, sorry. Especially after the genocide. A lot of people didn't vote for Kamala. But I wasn't voting for Trump. I just was like, I'm done with this, right? But when I heard him make that statement, I still felt some type of way at that time. So this is probably like 5 months ago. Because I remember thinking like, come on, man, you can't say that about a full group of people. Like, I don't know these, everybody. And I still feel like, you shouldn't say it about every single person. But I'll tell you this. The base MAGA online, yeah, he's right. He is absolutely right. So I don't care. I'm not talking about, you know, like somebody who's going to work, who voted for Trump, but like is not like stuck online, building a profile and a platform and everything. Like, no, I'm talking about these people, these Tim Pools, these, what's that boy's name? Benny Johnsons, the other people on Twitter, people that if I say their names, you wouldn't know, but that they've actually called me, a Terry, because I've argued common sense. These people have no problem with the First Amendment that is being straight gutted right now. They love watching universities crumble under the guise of DEI. Dig this. I am not one for, look, I'm going to tell you, I don't want anybody to just give me a job because I'm black. So I'll just keep it real. So you're not going to find that here. But at the same time, I don't believe in dismantling universities over that. And when it's not even about that, it's about a foreign place, right? And they don't call it out. So now hearing Brian Tyler Cohen say it again, I'm just like, yeah, he has every right to say that, because the representation of what MAGA is today. I mean, Trump had put out a video of what he said was, certain Terrys in Yemen being, the words being ended, and MAGA, some MAGA representatives reposted it. Meanwhile, we don't know for sure if these were those people, and even if they were, I just feel like they were just kind of standing around. But everybody was saying that they were civilians, and somebody said, "Oh, civilians," but they had pew-pews on their bed. It's a shame you can't have a real conversation. I was like, yeah, men with pew-pews don't bother me. I thought you guys are into the Second Amendment. That said, we didn't get the official, because that's how it goes. You're supposed to get the official wording, all right, boom, this is what this was. Trump just put it out and glorified it, yeah, they're not there no more. And MAGA representatives reposted it, and they said base. This is what I voted for, and I'm just like, bro, war crimes are base now. It's bad. It's really bad. So yeah, and it's really bad. See you guys at the next one. Bye.